people are not bothered by those who lie, cheat, and steal. Council member Jordan Brandon, along with Anaheim former Mayor Tom Daly, according to the Orange County Register's article last week, stole $24,000 from the Orange County Recorder's Office. Although it is not known what portion of the $24,000 that Jordan Brandon received goes to Tom Daly, but it was Tom Daly who facilitated the crime. A year ago, Tom Daly, then county recorder, paid Jordan Brandon $24,000 in Orange County tax funds, using the pretext to prepare a study on whether the county recorder needed another office in the west part of Orange County. The study, which was due last summer, was never done. Instead, Jordan Brandon was paid $24,000 to turn in 20 pages of useless data that was mostly copied word for word out of an encyclopedia. Earlier this month, the theft of the $24,000 by Jordan Brandon, which was arranged by Tom Daly, was discovered. The other 4 Anaheim council members, who should be enraged by Jordan Brandon's theft and should censor him, instead apparently will be happy if Jordan Brandon hires some college student for $1,500 to do the report for him. The other 4 council members then will be satisfied that no crime was ever committed by Jordan Brandon and Tom Daly, and both of them will be ending up with over $20,000 of our tax money to share between them. This is like somebody robbing a bank, and if they get caught, they only have to give a small part of the money they stole back as punishment for their crime. As was mentioned, honest, honorable individuals are outraged at somebody stealing public funds. But these other 4 Anaheim council members, who are seemingly trying to cover up such crimes, are just as dirty and corrupt as the thieves, Jordan Brandon and Tom Daly.
Welcome.
Good day, Mr. Mayor and distinguished City Council members. My name is Natalie Olivares, and I am the president of the Student House of Adelaide Crest Elementary School. I'm here today to present our school's thought of having a Crossing Guard Appreciation Day for the City of Anaheim. Crossing guards work very hard to keep the children of our school safe. Examples of that are they do their job regardless of the weather or conditions. Lives are saved thanks to these helpful citizens. They put their own lives in danger in order to help protect us. They put up with harassment from other people, and they have impacted how our society today works. Thank you.
Greetings. My name is Olivia Moreno. I am Secretary of Student House of High School. I shall present ideas on how to show our appreciation on how to demonstrate appreciation to our crossing guards. A few ideas are writing thank you cards to our crossing guards, wearing yellow clothing in honor of our crossing guards, making posters and stakes of these brave citizens, simply giving them thanks when you see them, bringing them small gifts to thank them. Other states in the U.S. and cities here in California have crossing guard days. We can't fall behind. Illinois, Florida, Santa Maria, California, Georgia, Fresno, California, New Mexico, Los Angeles, California, Oklahoma, La Habra, California. With your help, we are hoping to give these great people the appreciation they deserve. Again, we hope to get our message across all Anaheim and hopefully all of California. Thank you all for your time.
If you could look into the crossing guards, they don't get a lot of appreciation. They deserve it. So if you could maybe look into that and see what I'd like to maybe join that list of cities that honor crossing guards.
Mayor of the City Council, we'd be honored to do so. We'll come back to you.
Very good. Welcome.
I honorable Mayor of the City Council. George Brennan, I want to start with you. About a week ago, in our shopping center across the street, the 76-year-old Spanish male, didn't speak English, and came up to me and says, "Hi, John." I said, "Hello." We started talking. He said, "We don't like Jordan Bradman." I said, "Why?" "Because my friends don't like him." And I said, "No, wait a minute. Did Jordan Bradman do anything to you?" "No." "Who did you vote for?" "I voted for Jordan Bradman." So just because your friend may not like somebody, you voted for the person, so you like the person. So Jordan, you're doing a good job. The business people, we appreciate what you have done for us. And the schools, the YMCAs, we really appreciate it. Now, the main reason why I'm here is there's talk about when the reports are coming out from the district attorney's office that there may be riots in the streets again. The business people of Anaheim cannot afford any riots here. People have lost their businesses. Some had insurance, some did not. We made 600 t-shirts like the one we're wearing. It says in English and Spanish, no violence, and English and Spanish in Anaheim. So we just hope people have the First Amendment right to protest, but we just ask, don't destroy the businesses here. Don't hurt the people. Everybody that has a business here in Anaheim works hard for what they have. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dwayne Roberts. I live at 2276 Colchester Drive. At the Tuesday, January 15th meeting of the Anaheim City Council, City Manager Bob Wingenroth submitted his staff report about a proposed police oversight committee. In this report, he said the city could, quote, utilize the pre-existing partnership with the Orange County Human Relations Commission if the council decides to form such a body. He further added representatives from this nonprofit agency have, quote, already served our community in pivotal times, assisting our police department in fostering dialogue with the community, end quote. I'm here tonight to raise strong objections to OC Human Relations playing any role whatsoever in such a committee if it is ever created. My reasons are as follows. During the past 2 months, several California Public Records Act requests I filed with the City of Anaheim have led to the release of documents which contain evidence suggesting OC Human Relations is basically a contractor hired by the Anaheim Police Department to do special work on its behalf. Financial records I have obtained show that since July 2006, OC Human Relations has received $67,955 in funds from the Anaheim Police. Of that amount, $22,251, or 33% of the entire total, was dispersed between the months of November 2011 and September 2012 alone. Invoices and check request forms show even the money the city used to pay yearly dues to OC Human Relations comes out of the police budget, not the general fund. All payments were approved by Police Chief John Welter. Other records I've obtained show that employees of OC Human Relations have engaged in activities which reek of unprofessional and unethical behavior here in Anaheim. For example, copies of emails sent to Chief Welter by Rusty Kennedy, Executive Director of OC Human Relations, show he inappropriately passed on information gleaned from Anaheim residents to Anaheim Police without their approval, a clear violation of mediator ethics. Additionally, OC Human Relations employees, including Mr. Kennedy himself, have failed to disclose to the community, everybody from Anna Drive to the Ponderosa neighborhood, that their salaries are paid in part by Anaheim Police, a clear conflict of interest that should have been disclosed. If you have any doubts about this, I have a copy of an email exchange between Mr. Welter and Mr. Kennedy, where the latter sought a special $5,000 payment from Anaheim Police as rewards for he and his staff provided in connection with Anna Drive, neighborhood unrest, and gang member arrests, etc. I posted these emails and other documents exposing the shady relationship between OC Human Relations and the Anaheim Police on my blog, AnaheimInvestigator.wordpress.com. In closing, given the fact evidence shows OC Human Relations is working on behalf of the Anaheim Police, it is clear they cannot be trusted to be fair and impartial in any matters pertaining to resident complaints about alleged police misconduct and abuse. They have zero business whatsoever being involved in any police oversight committee that might be considered in this city. Thank you very much for your time.
Welcome.
Hi. My name is Jeanette Lister. I grew up here in Anaheim off of Workers in Law and Workers Homes. I presently live at 199 cent store off the Kansas State College. I am employed by Aramark presently until the 30th 30th of June. And I'm in the stand lead. I run the stand, and that's kind of like 424, unless it's behind the event. Me and my fellow workers are very concerned about our jobs. The Honda Center is apparently going to be taken over by the building. And our labor union, as you can see, this is at 48 hours. Imagine what we can do in another month. Our labor union has reached out to both Aramark and the building, and they have completely dismissed us. The rumor has it they're going to all fire us, and possibly, if we're lucky enough, they'll hire us back at minimum wage. We're very concerned. We need our jobs. We're taxpayers. 1/3 of the workers at Honda Center work here in Anaheim. And from what I understand, the city of Anaheim gets $50 million in tax breaks and incentives. If we lose our jobs, we can't pay taxes. And that's our tax money going to them. And I'd also like to point out that what in the Sam Hill does that building know about running food? We can't even get it straight with Aramark, and they're a Fortune 500 company. All right? I've been in this business for over 20 years. I have never worked with such a rinky-dink bunch of goofballs my whole life. You know? Anyways, the world is changing. This country is changing. The state is changing. We can lead by example, the city of Anaheim. We are the happiest place on earth. We're portrayed as so. Please, represent us, the many, the workers, not the few, because we all know what you guys are about. We're done.
Welcome.
Thank you, council members and mayors. My name is Jeff. I have to be an Anaheim resident since 2010. Been working at the Honda Center myself since 2009, January 2009. I happen to be a grill cook there. And not only am I working there, I'm also working with the Cheesecake Factory too, but very minimal hours there at the Cheesecake Factory because my hours over at the Honda Center required me to be there more than what the Cheesecake Factory could use me because the hours are conflicting because my hours at the Honda Center are at night. Cheesecake Factory wants me at night too, so they're conflicting, and Cheesecake Factory is understanding that my job at the Honda Center takes precedence over everything, being that it is seasonal and eventful work. I myself, I relocated from San Bernardino down to here to Anaheim because of my work, and I've been employed there, and prior to working there as an employee at Aramark in Honda Center, I was also volunteering there as a nonprofit worker, and that's what gave me my step into the company and as an employee with Aramark. Things with Aramark picked up through ACC, Anaheim Stadium, and the Grove. And that's what allowed me to move down here to Anaheim as a permanent resident. And I know that if arena management, when they take over, if they let us go, there's going to be a drastic impact, not only on the local social helps, but also the federal income helps too. And that's one thing that us with the union realized, and we were trying to help you guys as create from. I myself, I happen to be not only a friend of Bill and Dr. Bob as well. A lot of us within the union, as well as the Honda Center, are there as friends, also as Dr. Bob and Bill's friends. And we've got ourselves a good support team and don't want to lose that. We're asking you, please help us keep our jobs there at the Honda Center. Thank you.
Peterson. I live in Anaheim, California. I started working at the Honda Center before it was Honda Center. It was the pond, yeah, Arrowhead Pond. And I've been an employee for about 13 years as a food prep. But I don't know if I will keep my job when Anaheim Marina Management takes over from Onward at Honda Center. Anaheim Marina Management has not told us what's going to happen. I make $11.50 an hour. I pay $150 for rent. At the end of the month, I only pay, the only thing I have left over is $100. If I lost my job, I won't be able to cover my expenses. I might lose my health insurance, and I might not able to pay rent, of course. I worry about this situation, wouldn't you? I hope that the City Council can help us find a good solution to this situation. I lost my job because when I was homeless, I met my husband. He encouraged me to look for a job, and he was my sole provider at this time. And God rest his soul, he's up in heaven looking down on me and saying, go for it. Yep. Because this is what all we love to do is help the guests with the guest experience. And I really love this job because I have friends around me, I have co-workers, and to lose this job, I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably go crazy at my place anyway. But anyway, Mayor and City Council, I hope you will consider saving our jobs because we really love this. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Thank you so much. Good evening. My name is Gigi Fuscomis. I am the Executive Director of the Anaheim Performing Arts Center Foundation. We are a non-profit organization whose mission is to build a new state-of-the-art performing arts venue here in the city of Anaheim. So I invite all the residents of Anaheim to go onto our website at apacf.org to find out about all of our upcoming events. There's some great art in Anaheim, and I'm so happy that everybody in this community supports it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm here to talk on agenda item number 30. It's the proposed resolution proposed by staff regarding the triangle parcel that's next to the Intercontinental Hotel Holiday Inn right off Gene Autry Way. I've submitted to interim city attorney Mr. Houston our letter in response to the staff report along with documents identified in the letter. I'd like to make a couple points in the 3 minutes that I have to discuss our response to the proposal. In 1999, the developer R.D. Olson, along with Vast Resources, which is the predecessor in interest to our client, worked with the city of Anaheim to address the Gene Autry Way project and how it would impact the hotel site. Part of that discussion in 1999 was on the triangle parcel that's the subject of the proposed resolution tonight. The discussion in 1999, which was considered from staff to council and which was approved in city resolution, was that upon the construction and completion of the Gene Autry Way project, the triangle parcel would become part of the hotel ownership, fee ownership, and that there would be improvements placed on that property, which is a structure. In 2009, the city adopted a resolution of necessity for the current eminent domain action against my clients. And in that resolution, the city asserted to the court that it would convey in fee the triangle parcel. Today, staff has proposed to you a resolution that encumbers the triangle parcel across the entirety of that parcel with 40-foot wide, almost 40-foot wide maintenance access easements to the rest of the parcel, wall easements, other easements, none of which were identified in any prior resolution by the City Council. My client has serious concerns about each time there's a resolution proposed and adopted by the city that changes the terms that the city is proposing to convey the property. And the proposal tonight and the resolution tonight does not make an offer of conveyance. It simply authorizes the mayor to sign a deed to offer for conveyance. There's no terms for the offer. In addition, in the staff report, there's a number of findings that are asking the city council to make. There are no documents, there's no evidence in support of those findings. One example is the city staff says the property, the triangle, is worth more than $50,000. There's no documentation of that. There's no appraisal. None was provided to us. None was provided to this council with this agenda item. The city should not adopt a resolution that differs from what was considered and approved in 1999 when my client invested over $40 million to develop the hotel property. The city should adopt a resolution that conveys in fee, or offers convey in fee, as it was discussed in 1999. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Is this new? I haven't noticed the number before. I usually have trouble trying to get the 3 minutes, so I'm going to do my best. My name is Ron Bambuser. I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Anaheim. And there's quite a few items I want to talk about, but basically I'm going to stick to two tonight. The first one I want to express on Honorable Mayor and council members. I want to express my thanks and acknowledge the personnel who worked at the baseball field at the Glover Stadium during the 32nd annual Loera baseball tournament. It's all 32 teams. It's quite a tournament. I would like to see you guys out there next year. I want to acknowledge Adolfo, David, Ignacio, and Jose. They did an excellent job on having the fields prepared and ready for the game. And I'm not sure if some of those may be contract employees. Last year I was here, we were concerned about not having full city employees out doing the job. And I believe these guys, I don't know for sure that status, but they did a great job, and I give kudos when they're needed. And was my opinion otherwise also. So I just want you to know that I received quite a few comments from people on the field and how nice it looked. And that's a testimony to the city of Anaheim. That's good PR. The second item I'm here tonight, I haven't heard anything about the Citizen Advisory Committee to oversee the investigation of the Anaheim Police Department performance of their job duties. And so by not hearing anything, sometimes I get scared that it's when I do hear something, it's too late. So I just want to say that I support the Anaheim Police Department 100%. I support the current policy that's in place. And I believe that this would be the best working thing to go with. I can't imagine having a committee set up of independent citizens who are not educated in police science, police studies, or criminal justice, and familiar with ongoing policies and city policies. I think this would undermine the police department out there trying to perform their duties to the utmost of their abilities, and for the security of all law-abiding residents of Anaheim. They do a great job. And we get up there and have a committee that is not informed, doesn't know what's involved out there, because when your life's on the line out there, it's a different story. And, if they are going to be second-guessed and have the fear of reprisal based on something that is unfounded, I think the current process does cover this. And I strongly would urge you not to support a citizens committee with, I don't want to say vigilante, but maybe not informed and making well-educated, informed decisions which would jeopardize the law-abiding citizens of Anaheim. Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. My name is Christopher Smith. I am another great content worker. I've been there for 8 years. And I depend on that income for about 75% of my income that I need to raise my 2 kids. I'm a single parent. Losing that job would devastate our family. Also, losing that job would upon the relationships that I built with my coworkers, with my the guests that have season tickets that come and see me, and I see them, and it's just a great experience that we all share. And we're coming to you, pleading for you to help us keep our jobs. Since you guys are the owners of the building, we're hoping that you can step in and be a voice that saves the 500+ jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Randall Swenson. I'm standing here next to my wife, Jane Swenson. We are residents of Anaheim Hills and the parents of Roscoe Cambridge, who was shot and killed by Sergeant Bustamante, Michael Bustamante, on January 19th, 2012. As a family, myself, my wife, Roscoe had 2 sisters and a brother who we have never been the same ever since. Our concern is that Sergeant Michael Bustamante took 5 long days to write his report and make up the conflicting account of what happened that day. He said he never got out of his patrol car and fired 3 shots from within. However, only 1 bullet casing was found in the car, and Roscoe was shot 4 times, twice in the back. Also, an eyewitness saw Michael Bustamante, after hearing 3 shots, he was roughly 40 yards away, standing with a gun drawn over Roscoe, who was on his knees, dying. How would you feel if that was your son? You say the Anaheim Police Department is so transparent. Someone is lying. The shooting happened at 1:15 in the afternoon in the parking lot of the substation in Anaheim Hills. Shopping areas across the street, the Festival shopping area, fast foods, Cup Boys, and the parking lot in which he was shot is not only used by the police department, but the public library. According to Officer Michael Bustamante, it was shift change with a multitude of policemen coming and going, and no one saw what happened, and Roscoe cannot tell us. Officer Michael Bustamante had other options. His patrol car was running. He could have driven away, called for backup. The less lethal options he could have made. Rubber bullets, taser, belly club, whatever, etc. Officer Michael Bustamante's first and only choice that he made was to put 4 bullets in my son. Stop covering up the truth. Roscoe did not deserve to die. The truth will come out, and there will be justice for all. Thank you.
Murdered in Anaheim by your law enforcement. Everybody on this list, cases have been justified by the Orange County DA's office. We do not agree with the justification by the Orange County DA of the death of Manuel Diaz or any of these other ones. The Orange County District Attorney, Tony Rakakis, is on his way out. We, the people, do not need a shoddy district attorney who does not hold any law enforcement accountable. The 3 officers held accountable in the Kelly Thomas murder, there was 6, not 3. Everybody wants to say that Tony Rakakis is a hero for putting charges on 3? No. on behalf of the people that killed Kelly Thomas? No, we do not agree. I do not trust that district attorney, and none of us do. And the numbers in the community are growing. We do not agree with the district attorney or you guys playing with the community anymore. The issue remains. The public safety issue remains. The Janako meetings, the police oversight, the tone setters, all that stuff, damage control. Damage control to distract the citizens thinking that they're helping out on a project within the community when the real issue is the police department. We want those murdering officers out of the police department now.
Yeah.
And the public safety we want to help these people before somebody else dies. Do you understand that? Before somebody else dies, and I have to add another name to this list. Please.
That's right.
And members of the City Council and staff, it's pretty hard to follow on behind some of the intense emotion that is felt on the floor of this chamber, but I need to change the subject for just a few moments. Last week, Community Services put on a very splendid event at the City National Road, Anaheim, recognizing volunteers in our community. Without those volunteers, as you know, much of the work of the city and indeed of the police would almost grind to a halt. We appreciate that the Anaheim Arts Council was recognized on that occasion. Where does the money come from for organizations like the Anaheim Arts Council to be able to support the cultural and arts works? I'm not speaking very well tonight, I'm so tired. Where does the money come from to support the cultural and artistic activities of the community services? It comes from fundraising. And we have a fundraiser coming up on April the 4th, to which I would like to invite you all and members of the city staff. I have a bunch of invitations here if you'd like to go and get them to do so. This will be our annual fundraiser wine and cheese soiree, which is a very swanky sort of word, but it will be a very smart occasion. We'd love you to come. There will be, of course, a silent auction, live auction, celebrities there, some music, lots of entertainment. It will be at the Anaheim White House, and you've all been there before. So without much more ado, this is our invitation to you from the Anaheim Arts Council to join us, if you're able, on the evening of April the 4th for our annual wine and cheese soiree. Thank you for your consideration.
So my name is Chairman Santos. I've been here 7 times. I live across the street, and I'm here on a matter of public interest. The response by Anaheim, California Police Chief John Bambuser to the city manager regarding my issue with this police department, the Garden Grove Police Department, the Orange County Sheriff's Department, the California Highway Patrol, etc., reminds me of the first day that the order was given to Sandy and Randall Gaston and Brad Gates to essentially make me aware, with no uncertain terms, that a target had been placed on my person. Around the time that I was working on police engineering projects in Bogota, Colombia, for an American company nearby. The criminal arrogance with which they believe they could just violate federal civil rights law and get away with it forever reminds me of the arrogance of John Bambuser informing me through the city manager that I'm not the subject of an investigation by his police department, when it's 3 leadership generations of your police department, John Bambuser, 3 leadership generations of your police department, Kevin Rainey, 3 leadership generations of your sheriff's department, Sandra Hutchins, and others that have caused me irreparable harm. I'm a witness to your police force in Orange County committing every crime from harassment to fleeing the scene of my attempted murder on the Garden Grove Freeway. And the fact that no one in this county gives a damn is why I say categorically, anyone in Orange County, California, from Nita Maid to Tamila Caucus, investigating the death of anyone, let alone an Hispanic man like Manuel Diaz, in encounters with law enforcement, I consider it a hate crime in and of itself. every American is going to hear what your law enforcement union does behind your back with your money. The wreckage of my life, Mr. Tate, will not be for naught. I've seen a horrible wrong, and I'm doing my part as an American to make it right, whether anyone likes it or not, and especially if you don't. Perverts of the public trust Orange County law enforcement, as if the gang member problem wasn't enough of a problem. 18 U.S.C. 241 is the name of my YouTube account and Twitter accounts, and it's also the felony that your law enforcement community commits with the ease of drinking a glass of water. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello there. My name is Monica Gibbons. I work at the Honda Center, and I started there back when it was the Arrowhead Pond. I've been there for 17 and a half years. I have a lot of coworkers here that have worked there for many years. We know, we've already heard today that we know you guys do own the building. Let me see. I didn't know I was going to be up here at the podium today, so I didn't write anything. We would have liked to invite you down to see the Arrowhead Pond if you haven't been there in a while. I mean, the Honda Center. And let me see what some of us have to work with there in the building, the way they have extended the front, and how some of us have lost some of our customers. And that means also lost some of our money, and our stands don't do so well. And also to encourage you to encourage the Honda Center to meet with our union so we can figure out if we're going to have a job or not. Because even if it's a month or 2 months away, it's just as bad as working up to the very last day and not knowing if you're going to have a job or not, if you're going to be rehired or just let go. When I started there, I was making $7.50 an hour, I believe it was, or $7.25. I've been there 17 and a half years. I've only gotten like a $6 raise. I work for 4 other companies, but Honda Center is my home. I have regular customers, and because of the extension, I've lost regular customers because my stand has been cut down to this instead of this. And so they go elsewhere to get their product, but they still come by my stand to say hello and how am I doing, so we can see them. And it's horrible not knowing. Like if somebody was going to come in here and take over your city, but not tell you when you were going to be going, you would not know. And we need to know if we're going to have a job. And I don't know. Did I miss something? You have it over them to at least encourage them really hard that they should meet and let us know so we're not just hanging. I mean, I work for, like I said, 3 other companies, but this is the main one. This is where I get my insurance from. And without that, which I was 2 hours short of my insurance last year when I started having car trouble. I'm sorry, I'm having to get it.
My name is Juanita Rosales, and my husband is Daniel Duran. The 2 working in Honda Center. I love you for my work. Me is food prep. My husband is cook. He is okay me everything in the stand, different food. You is okay working. I love you for my work. Maybe, please, we help for me, for everybody, the people.
My name is Beatriz Sopete, I'm the organizing director for Unite Here Local 11. We represent over 5,000 workers in the city of Anaheim alone. 400 plus of those are in the Anaheim Honda Center. What is happening in the Honda Center is a tragedy. 400 lost jobs is a tragedy. 1/3 of them actually are residents of Anaheim. These are long-term workers that have been taking care of the ducts, taking care of the fans, making the business run here in Anaheim. They are the foundation of what is good in Anaheim. We come to you, and I know that they've already said this, but we come to you because you have some power. You are the owners of the land, and you're the owners of the building. You can do something about this. We are here, and we view this as a test of who do you really listen to? Who do you really represent? Do you represent the rich only? Do you represent the Somalis, the district, the resort district only, or do you represent the residents too? What is happening, our city is in turmoil. We are also in solidarity and support of what is happening all around our city. We need you to listen to the residents, the workers, the people, the children. And we need you to represent us, represent them, not just the rich. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Ethan Patel. I'm representing the local business owners and residents around the Palma Park. I call it a park, but seriously, it's not a park. It's more of a shelter for the homeless and for frankly, some of the worst people in Anaheim. And for some reason, the city of Anaheim promotes this. Mayor Tate, I read somewhere that you have 4 kids. I don't know how many grandkids you have. I urge everyone to take their kids out there for an hour. After all, it is a park. I guarantee you, once you pet, you'll feel discouraged after 10 minutes. You'll be disgusted by what you see, and you'll feel unsafe. Recent counts that there was up to 70 homeless people and transients occupying the park, more than kids. I've been told that there's a 10-year plan, and we're in the 5th or 6th year of that plan to clean up the homeless problem. No offense, but the problem is obviously not, the plan is obviously not working since the amount of homeless and transients have gone up every year. Children aren't allowed to camp in the parks, but for some reason, homeless people are allowed to pitch tents and makeshift forts every night and sleep in the park and the surrounding streets. There's an armory shelter pickup for the homeless every night at 5 p.m., which Anaheim conveniently picked up on the park for the past couple of years. So the homeless people congregate every night at 5 p.m. This should be a good idea, right? They're picking up the homeless, not really because they dump up the homeless people back at the park every morning, so the vicious cycle continues. The 2 most recent solutions have been to put 2 storage units and 2 porta potties in a vacant lot across the street from the park. Thank you, but no thank you, as my window faces that vacant parking lot. We as residents and local business owners don't object to sheltering and feeding the homeless. I mean, they're humans too, but for God's sake, do it somewhere else. The business owners have already lost income as customers feel turned off by what the community has turned into. The only time we call the cops is for vandalism or as if our business has been broken into. The church across the street from us, our neighbor, has reported that a homeless person or transient defecated and smeared feces on the church wall. Local residents, I have to sleep with earplugs in my ears every night because of the broken glass and foul language that is spewed by these foul-mouthed people that are allowed to speak in the surrounding streets. There's kids here, but there's a lot of N-words, E-words, and F-words. You get the picture. The final straw came a couple months ago when me and my mother were in the parking lot of our own motel, and our transient was loitering. My mom told him to get off the property. He didn't. She threatened to call the cops, and as God as my witness, he got on his bike, strolled, looked at me and my mother in her eyes, and said, "I'll kill you." This is not the first threat that's been made by the people of the park that Anaheim promotes to stay there. And I guarantee you, with a mix of psychiatric disorders, alcohol, and drugs, someone's going to get hurt. And I hope you guys don't take until someone does get hurt to take action. This is more about being taxpayers. This is more about business owners losing money. This is more about residents losing their peace and quiet. We've already lost that. In conclusion, we aren't asking, we aren't demanding, we're begging you to come up not with a temporary fix, but a permanent solution. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nicholas Herrera. Me and my family have been paying property taxes since November of '88 at $3,300 yearly. and I'm here to see if something can be done about Apama Park. The homeless are taking over. They are destroying the park. I know they have mental disorder, but they are a threat to children. They leave their trash everywhere, broken glass everywhere, urinate all over the place, and cuss all day long. Property values have gone down, but not taxes. Can't even go for a jog at night. Please help. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members, city staff, and Mr. Bob. I'm so glad that you're still here. Not because of anything that you have done, but the way things are being replaced by the council members. I'm so very happy. Mr. Michael is sitting in the hot chair. So anyway, I'm here to. I hear a lot of complaints about the homeless. Yes, isn't it about time that you guys would do something about the homeless, build a shelter for them? Because just on the outside, on Lincoln Street, there's a very sick man in there, just laying in there. People stop by and leave him food and stuff. God knows if he gets close to that food and eat it. Is there anybody, cares for that kind of persons, because we have a major problem with the homeless here. And it's about time that the city or somebody will do something about them instead of giving all this money away to build hotels when we have a lot of hotels here. Those existing hotels need help to renovate their places. So it's about time, Ms. Marie, that you think about the homeless and do something and build a shelter for the homeless, not hotels. Thank you very much.
I'm here to support the Honda workers. I live in the city of Anaheim, and this is very important to me that people are able to keep their jobs. If they can't keep their jobs, they can't pay their taxes, then where does that leave the city of Anaheim? I don't work at the Honda Center, but I feel it's my obligation to be here for them and to support them so that they can know whether or not they have jobs for their children, they need their health insurance. I personally am a disabled worker, and I also get Social Security and work at the same time. And so for me, if I didn't know if I had a job tomorrow, that would be very devastating to me. Thank you, and I support the Honda workers.
Hi, my name is Alejandra Lopez. Today is another day for most people who were family and friends of Martin Hernandez. Today would have marked Martin's 23rd birthday. He was brutally executed by Officer Dan Mercado. As if that wasn't enough pain, his body was left out in the open for all to see. No sheet or tent to cover him. Can you imagine looking at a lifeless body with blood all around, and as you look up to his head, you see his brain splatter next to him? Tell me that is not murder. It only continues to get worse. After hours of having his body out in the alley for the whole community to see, they decided to strip him down naked and leave him like that. His body was not picked up but left there to rot. More than 7 hours passed and his body was finally taken off the alley floor. To the community, this was a message. It was clear that if we didn't do as they wanted, this would happen to us. Martin Hernandez was brutally executed. OC Weekly has a picture of Martin on the alley floor. If you take a look at this horrific picture, you will notice that his legs are crossed. Meaning before he was killed, he was on his knees surrendering, pleading to killer cop Dan Hurtado to spare his life. In those few seconds, Hurtado could have done his job, and most of all was right. Instead, he chose to shoot him in the head while on his knees. After all this, Dan Hurtado was cleared with no accountability. I turn your attention to Chief Welter, who was also to blame. At a community meeting at Ponderosa, Chief Welter spoke about what happened on March 6, 2012. Said he wanted to clarify some of these rumors and misconceptions. Chief Welter said he wanted police and community to work together. How is that possible when you yourself said that there's a level of fear and mistrust about the police? That is the only truthful thing he said the whole meeting. He also said that he wanted to see that trust improve. We'll prove it. Hold these police officers accountable for their actions. He encouraged us to ask questions and voice our opinion. I have voiced my opinion, and I have asked over 1 billion times, when will there be justice? Chief Welter apparently doesn't know anything. Lies start to crumble, and in his speech you can hear him start to mumble. He has no clue what he is talking about. And this is supposed to be the chief of Anaheim PD? No wonder all of these killer cops are running loose. And as chief, he should be on top of these matters and the officers under his command. Without structure, it is no wonder the whole foundation is falling apart. Do your job, or do all of Anaheim a favor and resign. If Anaheim PD is not put to a stop and allow these officers to continue to murder, it is only a matter of time when we, the people of Anaheim, will unite and put a stop to this madness. Justice for Martin.
One, two, three. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Martin. Happy birthday to you.
And there'll be no more.
Yay. What do we want?
Welcome. Hello, good evening. I have some quotes to read to you all today. These aren't my quotes. Welcome. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I have some quotes to read for you today. They're not my quotes. An argument could be made that it is not Hispanics who are underrepresented. It's low-income residents of all ethnic backgrounds. But that's a discussion that removes the whole racist argument that proponents of districting need for their inaccurate and racist claims. Here's the second quote. With a fervent desire to restore peace in our city, with respect to the redistricting vote, I urge this council to vote no. Shame on the ACLU and any council person who would support such a measure. Councilmember Murray, these quotes are from your recent appointees, Keith Olson and Sandra Day. They made them before their appointment. They sure sound like they made up their mind, don't they? The second quote was made right here, right where I'm standing. Don't you remember hearing it? It is shocking and insulting to the dozens of citizens that have attended these meetings to hear you say that they have a drawn plaque. You straight up lied when you said that it is inaccurate to say these individuals haven't already made up their mind. There's video that shows that Keith Olson already made up his mind during one of the committee meetings. And he also thinks everyone else did too. At what point in elected service did you think it was okay to deceive so blatantly? I want to tell you, because I suspect few people do, that these actions you have taken are a slap in the face to Hispanics and minorities in Anaheim. And we will not forget it. You may have legal authority to sit where you do, but you do not have moral authority to represent over 50% of citizens who did not vote for you.
And you certainly do not represent the culture, ethnic heritage, or political will of that true majority. Getting past you, the truth is that residents now realize that this system is rigged. This system is rigged. And when it comes to a vote to make it fair and impartial, we will win it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good evening, council members. My name is Alexandra Ariza. I'm the founder of the Facebook page SOAT, the acronym for Supporters of Anaheim Police. When a soldier kills a national terrorist, he is hailed as a hero and given a word of valor. When an officer kills a street terrorist, he is labeled a murderer. What is wrong with this picture? The police are here to protect us from street terrorists. Imagine what your community would be like without your police department. Someone once told me that the police in my community are real a-holes because they stop you for nothing. My response was, thank God. The police don't stop you for nothing. There's always a cause. It could be minor or it could be major. Jaywalking? Okay, stop it. You might get killed and spread the word around town. I stopped you for jaywalking. We don't want anyone killed in an accident. Riding your bike without a light at night? You get stopped. It's an infraction. Get a light and spread the word. We won't want you to get injured because someone didn't see you. Speeding? Okay, you get a ticket. Why? Because a mother lost her child to someone who was rushing to get to a dinner. We don't want that to happen again. Spread the word. You got a ticket for speeding in my city. Taking preventive measures to avoid tragedies is the key to keeping a city safe. The police are here to protect and serve. They are protecting us every day from people that think they can get away with criminal activities. Imagine if the police let people get away with everything. Oh, that's no big deal. I'm not hurting anyone by jaywalking. Okay, so John Doe can do it, so can I. Now you have not one, but you have 10 people jaywalking, putting people at risk of being hit by a car or a driver hitting someone in the dead of night. The police take preventive measures to ensure our safety. I've been on a ride-along, and I'm currently attending a Citizens Police Academy course. I'm becoming more educated to what these officers have to deal with on a daily basis. It takes a very special person to become an officer. I'm very surprised not to see more supporters out here speaking up at the podium. Oh wait, I know why. Gangbangers. Well, I'm here to speak up against the gangs. If it makes me a target, so be it. I will support our men and women in blue. I do not have the courage our officers have, not even a fraction of their courage. However, I do have the courage to stand up here and speak up for our men and women in blue. It's time to stop being so cheesy regarding gangbangers. It's time to speak up and once again back the badge. Don't run from the cops. Stop and drop and you'll have your day in court. There is no due process when you flee. These gangbangers are all cowards. They carry guns and our officers are putting their lives on the line each and every day. How many of you would risk death every day? Our officers aren't invincible superheroes. They are everyday people just like you and me. Do not bow down to the ACLU. They have helped in many good ways, and they have also hobbled people. Do not allow them to hobble our police department. The Anaheim Police Department or any other department shouldn't be afraid of repercussions or going after the bad guy. At this time, there are 4 investigative bodies reviewing incidents of inappropriate force and misconduct. Anaheim Police Department Internal Affairs, Major Incident Review Team, Orange County District Attorney, and the Orange County Office of Independent Review. The 5 board members on the OIR, with all due respect, you've allowed me to squeeze our time. Let me finish. I'm almost done. The OIR elected.
Please wrap it up.
Excuse me?
Please wrap it up.
Yes. Are there bad cops? Absolutely. But they are usually weeded out, such as Christopher Dorner. What type of human would go around murdering our community protectors? Everyone is trying to be politically correct to avoid hurting everyone else's feelings. It's time to speak up for your local police department. To Officer Benayak and to all the Anaheim PD, you have many supporters who are afraid of speaking up for you. I'm the voice of your supporters. Consider this statement a huge pat on the back from your law-abiding community to a job well done. Thank you for keeping the peace and stay safe out there. Thank you.
Way to go, Buckshot.
Welcome.
Good evening, Councilman. Teresa, I have some packets here for Mr. Wayne and Ron and the rest of the council members. This supports what I'm about to tell you, so you'll have time later. I understand it's been a hectic night already. My name is Dr. Wayne Palmer. I'm a resident of Anaheim for 40 years in this community, and I stand before you to represent myself. I'm nobody else. I want to make that perfectly clear, that you understand this is me speaking, and I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody else. You see, from time to time, I inject myself with a dose of reality, and I ride the bus. I get there right after the bus leaves, so I can experience the weight, the trash, the debris, the graffiti, etc. I think you're getting where I'm coming from. After sitting on the bus bench, I felt the need to renew my tetanus shot. The conditions that I was in was deplorable, and then I thought, this is what the visitors to our city see. And while I'm on looks, has anybody driven down Lincoln Avenue lately? From the homeless living under the bridge, to the graffiti up and down the street, to the ruined light poles because the tagging and the graffiti company painting them out rather than power washing the poles, which, by the way, are very expensive. I've been told by the superintendent of public works, not of Anaheim, but of another city, that these Marmalade poles run approximately $12,000 a piece. Installed, they're $19,000 each. From east to harbor, there are 13 poles which could require replacement at a cost of $156,000. If they're installed, it's $247,000. Can anyone hear me? It gets better. I have pictures also of power washing without recovery systems of a dam of water going into storm drains at State College and South Street. Big EPA problem. This city of ours is spending over $1 million to remove graffiti and clean up bus stops. And we are cutting budgets because we have no money. How about we stop the waste? My grandfather told me, never expect what you don't expect. As I recall, many, if not all of us, here today ran for better neighborhoods. I believe this includes bus ditches and graffiti. It has not been that long. We should not have forgotten this. I also understand that we can't have, I don't understand why we can't have a second on the motion for the mayor's staff. That troubles me greatly and it embarrasses me, and I believe it is an embarrassment to the city. With all this going on, I'd like to thank a few other people who run this city.